I love subcultures. They're just fascinating to me. But from the lateness, I didn't hear the announcements. I heard a rumor that there might be broom ball this afternoon. Yeah? Is that possible? Or is it too much? Like after lunch?
Where's Danny? We can. I mean, it's about to get covered up with snow this weekend, so might as well do it, right?
It's okay if we don't, but if people are wanting to, I like the idea of doing it. But you got things going. Don't worry about it.
How about 45 minutes after lunch, meet at the rink?
Okay. Does that alter your plans? No.
Might not be there.
Why not? Why not?
I might be stoking the fire.
I'll drag you down.
Okay.
I'll help you and then drag you down there.
Okay. We'll get some broom ball in, some full. Basically, I want to leave Alaska after body checking some people. That's all. Right? Yeah.
And wash your face.
We leave with violence. There. And then I know people got things going, but if you're here, we were going to do that second round of s'mores things, but with the cinnamon roll thing, the video thing, if you saw that. Anyway, whoever's around, and I'm going to do it inside this time because last time everything froze immediately, and I want to experience the food without it being frozen, you know? There, so.
I was literally thinking it's going to be so cold again. It
Yeah.
actually warmed up.
So we can go outside later if you'd like, but that's that there. Okay. All right, Book of Delights. Where'd my notebook go? I actually think I read the last one. See, the last one this is my second Book of Delights. The first one I got, had well over 100 in there, and I lost it. Yeah, for like 2 years I couldn't find it. I finally broke down and bought a new one and started over.
But just think, some random person who's having a really bad day could just found it.
Right? Well, that's a nice thought.
Like, none of this happened. Now I'm sad.
See, that's a glass half empty kind of thing, man.
Come on, I was trying to make the dude feel better.
Yeah. My final entry here was number 73. I got it from Glorious Robe James, The Perfect Nap. That's my fun. Right? Isn't that a great thing? All right, what do we got? Somebody, what do you got? What do you got?
I just wanted to share that because I heard about your delights last time you were here. I've been doing delights every day since then, and it has been amazing.
Isn't it wonderful? You've been doing it every day. Oh, you were talking about these two.
Yeah, we do it with each day.
Wow. Okay, give us one. Do you know one off the top of your head?
I saw my friend's goats yesterday.
That's your delight, seeing a friend with a. See, of course you are. You got your own yarn wheel. You know. So, have you guys had the same experience? You see your friend walking down the street with a goat, and like, oh, that makes me happy.
Or the baby goats.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Back from running away.
Yeah. Okay. The cows come back. I don't have that experience. We have a cat. That doesn't really do anything for me though. When the cat comes back.
Held an owl one time. Yeah, it had a spinal injury and probably a concussion too because the lady hit it with her car. But I mean, I'll have to show you a picture of it before you leave. I do got a picture of me holding an owl.
Okay.
Okay, me and Riley had a delight when you find the perfect socket for like a bolt and it fits.
First time. Oh, that's the best. Because the only way you get sockets like that that's almost like Catholic miracle. You need 2 miracles to find the first one. Usually you have to go through 40 of them before and it's just a big bucket of them. Why we store them in buckets, I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, when you find the socket, first shot.
Or after a long day of work, take off your work boot, you take off your sock, and you can actually air out.
There you go. That's a good feeling. Yeah. Walking in the snow in bare feet. That's your delight?
This Daniel went outside last night with his bare feet on.
Yeah? He has bare feet on? Yeah. Anybody else share that delight? You seem like you would do that. Do you do that?
I did that before.
Yeah?
Like when I was
walking barefoot in the snow. You ran a walk.
I mean, you can. It's just gonna hurt a lot more.
Well, there you go. You know, it's funny, like, you know, I come to these classes and all this, and I put all this time and material and getting ready to all this, but I'm pretty sure, and I know how it goes, because I've been to classes too, the things that I'm going to be remembered for will probably be s'mores and the Book of Delights. And flannel crap. Yeah. Yeah. There's so.
Thank you.
I brought it. The thing, I've been thinking about wearing it. You guys see this? Pickleball. I was going to put, I don't think I've earned it though.
It's okay, Jeff. You can put it
I'm not.
in class.
The other thing I was going for is like, we got some people that don't know me. I don't know that I want this first impression. That's why didn't go day one, but it fits really nice.
Oh, it does?
There, I like this.
Keep it on.
There we go. As long as I was also checking, make sure there's no cell phones. So it's going to get posted on the web. There, kind of thing here. But yeah. So just how serious I am with pickleball. My guy I play with, my buddy, he texted me yesterday. He's like, so just out of curiosity, how many times per day are you thinking about hitting the perfect pickleball shot in your mind? So anyway, he'll be jealous I have this hat. I'm going to wear this the next time I play. But thank you for the hat.
A good one-handed wood split.
Bam.
Yeah.
All right. It's another Book of Delight. Okay. So for this class, all right, I want to do a little review on a couple things today. I know there will be no Zoom call today, but and we're definitely going to be done early today here, which I know everybody hates that. No, please don't start the weekend early here. I don't want to go to the weekend. It'd be terrible because we are going to get done a little early today. But I want to review a couple of things here on this. First of all, the walks. You know that we did together. I'm curious, anything sticking with you guys at all from doing those walks?
Just thinking more on like what problem would you solve? Like how that is an important question to ask.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question to ask. Yeah.
It occurred to me, like, on the walk, when you're like, who's the most important person in your life, like, it was hard, or it wasn't even asked like that, like, who would you, like, say, like, example, I had, like, Christ, or whatever, and, like, I had a general, like, idea of, like, a lot of people in my mind, but it caused me to realize that, like, sometimes I should give people room more to be in my life, you know, that like, it's easy for me, like, with things that I've experienced to just, like, oh, I don't trust anybody, push everyone away, you know? And, like, to allow some people to be in my life more that are good people that, I guess it's kind of reverse psychology maybe a little bit there, but, like, it did cause me to realize, like, I want to let more people in my life to influence it in the right way.
Yeah.
And that's something I took away from it, which, like,
That's good. That's a good thought, man. Oh, well, I'll tell you, one of the things I had that none of you guys got this week is I got to go on the walk with everybody. I heard every person's answer. One of the things that stuck out to me on that question of who's one of the best people you've ever personally known is that there was more than one of you that struggled to come up with an answer. And it's some people, like, that's just the kind of question, just like my brain doesn't really function that way, so it's hard for me to access it. But there were a couple of you that I got the impression, whether it's the correct impression or not, I don't know. But I got the impression that you had a hard time answering it because you haven't had a million good people in your life. And so here's what I'm putting out in front of you guys, like North Star students. You got some people here. You got some sisters and brothers here. You have a real opportunity to bring goodness to them. So that a year from now, 5 years from now, whatever the time is, if they get asked that question again, who's one of the best people they've ever known, they're going to be able to say, like, oh, man, you should meet this guy from the Bible school I went to. I got to tell you about this girl from the Bible school I went to. They've just brought so much goodness to my life. It's like you guys have like a seriously wonderful opportunity and to bring goodness to each other. Anyway, that hit me there. But all right, other observations from the walk? Yeah.
Like, just thinking about like what the church is really capable of being like, like the question was like what you want to see the church embody like most or whatever, and just like thinking about like the church can be those things. So yeah.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. You guys know the church can be the coolest thing in the whole stinking world, right? We're going to talk about that at length today. That's going to be the topic today. But, oh, man, guys, I hate it when people talk about what's going on in the world like there's no hope. It's like, why would we say there's no hope? Our Savior was crucified. He's buried. He rose again. I mean, come on. Like that alone gives us hope. And then he turns around and he builds this organization called the church. He's like, let's go kick in the doors of hell. You know, it's like, why would we not be hopeful? Yeah. That was the biggest thing I wanted you guys to get out of the walk. Hope. I do those walks for hope because we have great reason for it. All right. This one here, I'm curious about the Zoom calls. How do you think those guys, so you remember we had Devin, Amanda, and Satara from Grace Collective, and then we had Cheryl Allman from Homes of Hope, and then yesterday was Kevin Woods. Oh, anybody looking at his, you were scoping out his tattoos while we were there? The guy's got some ink, doesn't he? You know, he's, yeah. You couldn't see it real. It's kind of neat. His daughter's name is Luna, and so he has the phases of the moon tattooed straight down his. You can only kind of see it in there, but that's if you saw a tattoo right above his, like between his eyes, that's what it is. That's in honor of his daughter there. But anyway, okay, forget Kevin's tattoos for a moment. Yeah, yeah. Right. I don't know. Did you click with those Zoom calls at all? Who was somebody that stood out to you that I don't know? You kind of like, hey, there's something about them. Were you raising your hand, or you just like, yeah, okay, what do you got?
Kevin, just because I was talking with my grandma the other day, she was telling me about how she went to Guatemala for this like mission trip or whatever, and she was telling me about this person who like took off their shoes and like gave them to the person they were trying to help, and it reminded me of Kevin when he like took off the belt and gave it to the person. It's just like he was so like chill over the phone, like on the Zoom, and I can like imagine like that's like his like persona like with those people, and sometimes calm is like good to see,
Yeah. Yeah, that's good, Kevin. Yeah.
I like also Kevin, but he just had really practical ways to help people, and he just goes into those spaces with a really calm and easy like nature about him. Like it's not intense. He just goes in there and is a friend to people.
Yeah. Oh, here's something. Did you guys think there was a connection problem where, like, I'd ask a question and there'd be a pause? That's the way he talks.
There was a little bit of a connection problem though, because his mouth would start moving then.
Oh, did a little bit of that? Like when you talk to him, though, he's a really contemplative person. So when you talk to him, he'll just kind of look at you for a moment.
I loved his vocabulary.
Hey, that's really okay. That's a great question. Like there's always that pause in there. So anyway, he's a bit of a mystic too, there. But
I will add to the first Zoom call. I don't remember their names.
Devin, Amanda, and Satara.
Yes, I loved the fact that the emphasis, like obviously I connected with Cheryl because foster care is my passion, but I love listening to Devin and Amanda because it's Amanda's story, and she has taken her story and blessed so many people, and you can see that she's being blessed in helping other people that are going through what she went through.
And it just proves that our stories are so important, and they're not something to try and remove from ourselves and move forward and be better. It is part of our story, and it's part of what makes us equipped for what God has for us. Because so many times when we go through things, we just want to separate from it. Be like, okay, I'm done with that. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want anybody to know. I moved on, and now I can be better. But that's not how God calls us to live our lives. And I love that she's living it out. Like, this was my story, and now I get to bless people, and that blesses me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's so good. That's so good. Yeah.
I thought about with the Grace Collection people, how like we were talking about faith, some at chapel, and just like how they didn't really know what they were getting into to like the full extent, and then but they just kept taking like the next step of faith, and just like it was cool to see how God provides in that.
Yeah. It's so good. Every time I go there, like I'll be sitting there and Amanda will come up behind me. She's like, Jeff, you're not going to believe what just happened. I'm at the point now where it's like, I am going to believe because it just always happens here. That building he told you about, the part I didn't tell you that story was Amanda went and shared at the Rotary Club, whatever that is, in Pasco. And there was a guy there who just was enthralled with what they were doing. And that guy has a daughter. His daughter was the lawyer. If you mentioned the story, the building they were given, his daughter's a lawyer in Chicago, like one of these super high-priced lawyers. And she calls up Amanda on her cell phone. Is like, hey, you don't know me. I don't know you. My dad won't leave me alone until I buy you a building. There's one for sale a block from your house, or from where you guys are. It's $400,000. Can I just buy it for you right now? It's just like, I guess we have to. They have 2 buildings equating to 15,000 square feet of space that they have paid $10 for. It's crazy. Yeah. Talk about just step out and do the thing by faith, right?
That's how I'm here.
Right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just was like, God, I have nothing. And he said, okay, I'll pay for it.
I'll pay for it. Poof, you're here. Yeah. It's the way it goes. Yeah.
Like Kevin especially, I kind of got that vibe from. Like, he was just literally going out and hanging out with them. They give him stuff if they needed it, when he could. But like, probably 90% of the ministering that he was doing was just being there.
It's just being there. Yeah. It's almost like love is like the most important commandment. I don't know. Somebody should write that down somewhere. Think about it. Yeah. Right? Good. Okay, good. I'm glad you like the Zoom calls. They're some of my favorite people. Plus, then you didn't have to listen to me lecture all day, every day. And that's a win for everyone. Oh, man. I was texting some of my friends telling them about you guys. I talk about you. And I made the comment to them about how, what did I say? Like they're all really nice, and like one thing about it is like nobody here makes fun of me. It's the only place in the world that I'm not fade. Yeah. I texted this one of my groups. I said, no one here makes fun of me, not even a little bit. Maybe you guys could consider learning from them.
Well, how'd they reply?
How'd they reply? One of them says, we'll just hang out with them for a while, and they'll learn how to do it. The other one's like, my brain genuinely cannot compute what our relationship with you would look like if we didn't make fun of you.
What did they make fun of you about? That's what I'm wondering.
It doesn't, it's just, I don't know, it's like whatever. It just happens to be, it's Tuesday, it's sunny, somehow or another. Jeff gives me made fun of. I sent him a picture of, like, hey guys, I'm in a puzzle. And I sent a little puzzle piece of me in it. And their response was, oh my gosh, is that Bob the Tomato? right? Yeah, that's what they do. These are my friends. Yeah.
Not make any enemies.
No, right? Anyway, good. All right, so I want to go quick on one thing here, and then I want to get into the bulk of what I want to talk about today. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Molina had asked a question the other day about scam artists and what to do there. I said we'd address that. I want to address that one. And then I want to talk about next things for you. And then I want to I'm going to share you a little bit some of the next things for me. I don't know if that's of interest or not, but you're going to hear it just the same. And then I want to finish with, I think, one of the more powerful truths in the Bible that, at least for me, informs what it is that we do here. All right? So, scam artists. This is going to be about what to do with them, not how to become one. That's a different class there. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. That'll be next year. Yeah. No, whenever it comes to people, like whenever you go to like help the people who are homeless, I hear more of the conversations along the lines with them than I do with other segments of there. Have you ever heard similar to what Molina was talking about? Is like, well, they're probably just begging, and they got this really fancy car parked around the corner, and they're just scamming everybody. That's one. Or here's another one, common one. Is like, don't give them money; they're just going to use it to buy alcohol. That sort of thing. All right, let me give you. This isn't going to be a long conversation, but a few observations for that. Number one, I have never personally heard anyone who does this work regularly who makes those comments. The people who make those comments are usually people who have heard about it from other people. And what you'll probably notice is that they've never personally witnessed it. They like heard something, and then somebody else said something that 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 said something. Now, that's not to say it could never possibly happen. But most of what you hear there is speculation. It just is. And I can tell you this, the second part of this, no one gets rich off of panhandling. It just doesn't happen. You cannot stand out on the entrance of Walmart with a cardboard sign saying need food, and then you've got some luxury sports car that you're driving home to in your mansion. It just doesn't happen. If you're not sure on that, go hang out with somebody that panhandles. I have a friend of mine, his name is Bruce. That was how he paid for his life, was that he would panhandle. A really great day for Bruce was $40. A great day. And Bruce would stand out there all day long. Can you imagine doing something all day long, and $40 is a great day? Like it just isn't the sort of thing where they're scamming people and then going off and getting into the luxury car. Now, is there anybody in the history of the world who's done it? I suppose it's possible that one person, but they're so far from being the norm that it's just not. Like the people who do this kind of work, that's just honestly not something that they're all that worried about. The other one here is they're probably just going to use it for alcohol. I'll give you my response to that. It's not our job to police what people do with our gifts. I had a friend of mine who was not homeless, and I think her response I thought was hilarious, but she also meant it. She's like, if you came up and gave me $20, I can't guarantee you I wouldn't go buy alcohol with it. It's like, okay, that's a fair point. But Jesus doesn't call us to give cups of cold water to people so long as they're going to use the water for the right purposes. He says, just give cups of cold water. Don't worry about how people are going to use it. And this is, a lot of people will help with strings attached. You do see this. It's like, oh, they'll help somebody out, but then they watch how they spend the money. And it's like, that's not our job. It's not our job to police it. Now, if you are in an ongoing ministry, that's different. If you're just helping, if you see somebody with a sign up, I've done this, they stand on the street corner, and you want to give them some money, give them some money. Just give them some money. If they take it and go buy beer with it, they went and bought beer with it. Like, it's not a huge thing. Like if it's in your heart to do that, I can tell you one woman that I stopped for. I was on my way to McDonald's to buy food for some other people, like some kids and there was this woman standing there, and she had her little girl with her. It was cold, not Alaska cold, but still cold. She's got this like little 7-year-old girl, and the little 7-year-old girl's sitting on a lawn chair while the mom's out there panhandling. And I was just like, I'm on my way to McDonald's. It's 2 blocks away. So I just pull over, And I'm like, hey, I'm going to McDonald's. You want anything? Well, she didn't speak English. She was from Romania. So, which I figured out was like she's not speaking English. Like, well, this isn't working. So I pull out a map of the world and I showed it to her, and she pointed. Then I figured out Romania. Then I jump on translate.google.com, and then I'm like, I'm going to McDonald's, and then I pull up the McDonald's app and like, you want something? And she went. She didn't want anything, but she wanted something for her daughter. We wound up developing a friendship through that. There, and we wound up putting her up in her daughter, and her husband, putting them up in a camper for a while that was plugged in, had electricity and water to it. There, we did that for a little while there. They were refugees that were here. There's another story, but I just the scam artist thing. They're probably going to use it for alcohol. Let me just tell you this: you've probably never heard somebody that was worried about that was actively involved in this ministry. It's the people who are critical of it, usually, or the people who are at least disconnected from it. Now, if you have a heart for helping the homeless, your ministry won't be handed $20 out the window to somebody on the street corner. Your ministry is going to be relationship. And out of that relationship, you're going to start seeing what their needs actually are. And it'll be more than just $20. Although occasionally you just hand them $20. And I mean, come on, it's $20, you guys. It's not a big deal. But most of the time, if you're going to be ongoing, you're not worried about this. I guess that's my point in that. And you know what our job is, right? See somebody bleeding in the ditch? You help them. Just help with what you got. You don't fix their life. You just help them with what you got. And today I got $5. Then hand them $5. If you don't have anything today, you don't have anything today. Not a big deal. You keep seeing the same person on the same corner and you're concerned about them. Well, swing by a homeless ministry and be like, hey, there's this guy keeps showing up on the corner. His heart's he's just kind of hot on my heart. You got any ideas of how I could be a blessing to him? And take it from there, kind of thing there. But anyway, I'm not too worried about the scam artists myself. Oh, you want a great line? This is a good one. You're going to like this one. And it has nothing to do with this ministry, or it relates to this ministry, but not specific to this ministry. You have never been criticized by somebody doing more than you. You have never been criticized by somebody doing more than you. You just haven't. I've been criticized for the work that I do. Occasionally you get the people throwing like, what are you, some like woke liberal? And it's like, I have never heard that from somebody. Like if somebody like, am I woke liberal? I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. But it's never come from somebody that's like, hey, I've been out serving the homeless, and now I'm looking at you, Jeff, and you're some woke liberal. Like, it's always been somebody who doesn't care about the homeless. They're not helping abused children, which is the world that I live in the most. They're not doing anything. And so, okay, you guys know what D.L. Moody is? Okay, do you remember what he resolved to do every day? Every single day of his life? Anybody know that? He was going to share the gospel with somebody every single day of his life. And one day he was traveling and he's in his hotel and it's like almost midnight. And he realized he hadn't shared the gospel with anyone that day. He said, oh, man, shoot. So he puts his shoes back on. He goes running outside and he finds a dude standing under a street lamp. And he just walks up to him. He's like, hey, I got to get this in before midnight. Can I tell you about my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? And shares the gospel with the guy. Anyway, Moody was kind of known for this. And Moody was this traveling evangelist. And he was at one of his rallies preaching. And after he gets done preaching, this woman comes up to him and says, Mr. Moody, I don't care much for your form of evangelism. And Mr. Moody looked at her and he says, honestly, I don't care much for my form of evangelism either. What's your version? And she's like, well, I don't really have one. He said, well, then I like mine better. You know? Right? So like if you engage this kind of work, like so whenever somebody comes up and they're critical, most people are very, very kind and generous for the kind of work that I do. Most people are. Every now and again, people feel threatened by it. They feel threatened by it. And when they do, they come and say something to me. And I always look like, okay, hey man, like I'm cool with learning. I'm not necessarily in love with what I'm doing here. What are you doing? And they never have anything, ever. And if you look at people that are critical of you, You've never been criticized by people that you would characterize as faithful and kind. You just haven't. Yeah.
What's the most frequent criticism that you get from these people who are kind of uninvolved with the problem?
I'm going to have to do burpees if I go too far with that.
I think you have to do a burpee
Maybe
for
go
that.
step beneath it.
You still have a warning.
I still have a warning.
You do have a
You
warning.
should use up your warning before you leave.
And then I can warn you, or Nathan can warn you, Nathan probably me too.
I think Jeremiah's one.
Well, that segues nicely to the next topic of conversation. Where do you go from here? Next things for you on this. And, oh man, is there a question? I don't know. There is a question to ask you this, but I don't know if you're ready for the answer. You might not be ready to answer it, and that's okay. Oh, hey, by the way, anybody here see it coming that was my wife in this story? You saw that one? Okay. Nobody? Okay, just I thought I gave there was a couple moments like, oh, I think I gave it away. I wanted you to get it at the end, but anyway, there we go. She's got a great story, doesn't she? Great story of redemption. Oh, and guess what she became for her job? Did I tell you what she does for her job? She's a teacher. Because, I don't know if you caught early in the story, you remember when that first bit of goodness she got? It was a teacher that looked at her, a teacher that recognized in something there that she was in first grade, and a teacher's like, you're a really gifted writer. And my wife is an incredible writer. She's very gifted at it. And my wife just hey, maybe I got something at school. But when she would show up at school, her last name is Borders, that's her maiden name. And I told her she has 83 first cousins, or 80, whatever it is. And when she would show up at a school and the teacher's they'd see Kim Borders, they'd be like, oh, not another one. I got a job working at a landscaping company in her hometown when we were just about to get married. And I told the guy, my foreman, yeah, I'm getting married here in a few weeks. He's like, oh, who are you marrying? I'm marrying Kim Borders. And he just died laughing. A preacher's marrying a Borders? Anyway, that was... But a teacher, and so it's he said, who made a difference in her life? A teacher and a church. She went into teaching. Who did she marry? A pastor, right? There. So go back to, what happens when you help people bleeding in the ditch, right? Not only do you help them, but then all of a sudden it's whoa, that was pretty cool. I think I want that for the rest of my life. Where did I go? Oh, sorry. I got distracted by my own. All right. So I asked the question of where do you go from here on this? So this year you're going to have 2 classes dealing with missions. This is one of them. I have no idea what the other one's about. But it's coming in April or May, I think, is when you get it, I think, on that here. All right. I've been telling you, right, we've seen this, all of these are very valid things to do for Christ. Ministries to be involved in, whether vocationally or volunteer. This is mine, right? And this is what this whole class has been about. I hope what I've made clear to you. If I haven't, I'm making it clear. I want to say it now so that it is clear. Not all of you should do the work that I do. I want that clear. This is not for everybody. God hasn't gifted everybody for this. He has not put this passion in everybody's heart. And if everybody was this, what 1 Corinthians talks about, if the whole body was a hand, what kind of body would we have? I guess you'd be the thing, right, from Adam's family? Yeah. And I think not everybody should be this. So I hope when I describe this, it wasn't if I don't do the work that Jeff does, then I'm a subpar Christian. I hope you don't do that. But I do hope some of you guys say, I can see myself doing that for the rest of my life. I hope that there's a couple of y'all in here that do this vocationally. Whether it's as a pastor like I've been doing it, counselor like Cheryl is. Some of you guys should jump in and fight human trafficking. Some of you guys should do something, become a social worker. You can become a teacher You could become like what Kevin's doing. You could become like Amanda, Devin, what they're doing. You can become Satara. Satara, this, I don't know if you caught this. Did you catch what her job was now? I don't. Yeah, she does some of that. And then one of her main roles is that she's a grant writer. And so this ministry costs them, what does it cost? Oh man, they told me how much it costs per person. It's 5 figures at least. I want to say it's like 20 grand per person to take them through the program, 30 grand, something like that. And it's worth every penny of it, but it's expensive. And Satara, I was just talking, the first day I met her, like, what do you do here? And she kind of, her eyes light up. She's like, I'm a grant writer. She's like, Jeff, you have no idea my story, where I was. Who knew I was any good at this? But I'm actually pretty good at writing grants. You know? And she wrote a grant last month, and when I was there last month, she'd just written it before I got there. I was like, hey, Satara, what's going on? She's like, I just wrote another grant, but this one's for me and my family. And she'd lost her kids, and she just got them both back. And so she's just trying to get her family set up with some financial things, and anyway, so now my prayer is that Satara gets the grant, that kind of thing. But anyway, like there's so many different functions inside of this where yeah, okay. Wait.
Tell us a little bit more about what grant writing is and what goes into it.
Oh, okay. Grant writing is, you may not know this, there are enormous piles of money out there. I'm not joking. Enormous piles of money out there with foundations and corporations that want to pass it on to organizations that do things. But you have to have, grant writing takes like a certain set of writing skills. It's a really bizarre world. But you like have to know how to write grants to these foundations that give this money. I'll give you an idea. So in my town, our hospital, H word, wrong H word, our hospital does a fundraiser every year, which I'm not sure why, because I know how much it costs me to go to the hospital. I'm not sure why they need a fund, but anyway, that's another thing. I was like, really? You didn't charge me enough to cover your expenses? But anyway, they do a fundraiser every year. They do, what do they call it? A festival of trees, where they're like, you buy a Christmas tree, but it's like all decorated with themes, and it'll have like, you buy like an outdoorsy Christmas tree, and it'll have like gift cards to like Cabela's and things like that. Yeah, and then this one will be like a baking Christmas tree where you get Pampered Chef gifts along with the tree. The top selling tree this year sold for $400,000. Yeah, you can buy a Christmas tree for $400,000. There are enormous piles of money out there, and a grant writer says, hey, you guys, we're doing a really cool thing over here. You're going to start selling Christmas trees, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, which actually I think it'd be super cool if somebody, maybe somebody already is, I don't know. There should be a grant writer for North Star. There is, because there's organizations out there that would love to support what's happening here. There's businesses, individuals out there that would look at this and be like, this is so cool what you guys are doing here, but they just don't know about it. So the grant writer's job is to go find people who have the money that would love to be a part of helping it there. So, and that's Satara's job.
Is it usually as like a tax write-off thing?
Yeah, that's a big part of it. You get tax benefits for corporations.
So like big companies need to give away a lot of money, and they just need to find people to give it.
Yeah. And I know, like, if you're at North Star, you're broke. I mean, that's just a fact, right? I mean, that's just, right? Or you're not, at least you're not making any money this year, So there's certain contexts, like $500 is a crazy amount of money. In other contexts, $500, I know a guy, he will not, something came up about getting DoorDash. And he's like, first he was like, that's a lot of money. But he's like, realized, like, if I have to do anything, if it saves me, oh my word, my time is worth $500 an hour for him. So he orders all of his food because unless it saves him $500, it's not worth his time to do it by himself. He'll just hire it done. That's how he makes it. So anyway, there's money out there, and a grant writers. So Tara's job is to go find the people who have a heart for this stuff, and write it. So that's a pretty valid use of that's pretty good use of some writing skills, isn't it? Anyway, and by the way, did you also catch what she hasn't done yet? I didn't know this till the Zoom call. She hasn't graduated high school. She's getting ready to do that at age 30, which, come on, how cool is that? Finishing high school at 30? Man, that takes some grit to get after that, you know? Anyway, she's a grant writer before she even graduates high school. There. So, what was I doing? Oh, we're talking about next things for you. Okay, so here's my question here. And you don't have to answer this here if you don't want. Has these conversations kind of made you think about any people, causes, ministries, or whatever that like you weren't thinking about maybe before this week? Or you were thinking about this before this week, but it's been kind of dormant in your mind, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, this is kind of becoming a bigger thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it does make me think about better ways to go about these kinds of ministries and interacting with these vulnerable people. Because my mind tends to jump straight towards like fixing problems, and fixing problems before having relationship is not necessarily the best.
Yeah, sometimes it creates more problems. Yeah, okay. Others? And you might be like, yeah, but I'm not saying it out loud because I'm not ready to yet. And that's okay.
I will say watching Kazani was really inspiring. I think recently that the idea of never backing down. I don't want to be cliche, but there's a Fortnite streamer and his motto is never back down, never give up.
Yeah, oh, you missed Melina, you missed your chance. You should in that moment yelled, never back down, and then see what the group did.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't want to be a nerd.
Oh, okay.
Someone already yelled like 6, 7 in this class multiple times. I think
Not
you'd
me,
be,
okay?
I think you'd be leagues ahead of that.
If somebody had yelled never back down, would have any of you yelled back never give up?
I would have.
Okay, all right.
But anyway, the point is that I loved how she didn't stop. And number two was that she was sick and she still never stopped.
Yeah.
And she did huge things, like huge projects, right?
Yeah,
And you don't put God in a box.
yeah,
You have big dreams, you do it. Nothing stops you. The only thing stopping you is when you stop.
yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Never back down, never give up.
Amen.
Good. Any of you have any people groups that have kind of floated a little bit more to the top of your mind? Yeah.
I also did foster care for the majority of my life, and listening to Cheryl kind of helped me revisit that, because it's kind of like what Melina said, it's a part of my life that I wanted to shove away and not think about anymore, because it's an extremely difficult ministry, and these kids have it really hard. But listening to Cheryl, and I'm really interested in the science behind the mental health of things right now, personally, and so foster care specifically, and the why, the kids have such a hard time, and I have such a huge passion for kids.
Okay.
I'm very open about that too.
Yeah. Good. Foster kids in hard places. Yeah. Okay. I've had at least 3 of you approach me individually about things that are on your heart. You don't need to share it at all with your group. I'm not asking you to. But I know at least 3 of you, in addition to the people who've shared in here, there's been stuff in your heart, and I think that's cool. Here. And the other thing, if you get serious about it, and you're like, it's more than a passing interest, you should speak up about it. What I have found in a group this size, if you're just like, man, my heart breaks for, and you say it out loud, there's 2 or 3 other people in here that are going to be like, oh, yeah, me too. And then next thing you know, you have a team, and you can go do something pretty cool with it there. I have a lot of people that in my life, they get involved with ministry, and their thing is, one guy actually, he's getting involved with my ministry now this year. He grew up in a horrible home, and when he was 12 years old, he promised himself that oh man, we had this moment. He and I went for a hike together in the woods. I did not mean to be this heavy. I thought it'd be inspiring, but it was like, ooh, that came off hard. I shouldn't have done that. But something good came from it. We're hiking, and he's telling me as we're hiking about, like, when he was 12 years old, his mom was not a good person, and he was just, like, in the car just weeping over what his mom had done, and he's like, I still remembered it was raining, and I can still see the windshield wipers going back and forth, and I promised myself I would spend the rest of my life helping kids who had to face this sort of thing so that they don't have to be alone when they do it. And then so I said to him, he was like 45 or something now, and we sat down for lunch in this hike, and I'm like, okay, I think it'd be a cool moment, I was like, all right, man, let's see, you 45-year-old you is sitting down with 12-year-old you. What do you tell him? And I was thinking that he'd be like, oh, I'd tell the 12-year-old me that, like, I did it. I'm working on it. And then he gave me some answer, and it was like a cheap, wimpy answer. And then all of a sudden I realized what I'd done. It's like, oh, nothing like heaping pounds and pounds of guilt on a man for failing 12-year-olds himself. And then I get home, and then the next day he sends me a text message, and he's like, Jeff, I can't quit thinking about that question. I didn't keep my promise to 12-year-old me, but I'm keeping it now. And he's getting in on it there. Right? Isn't that cool? So awesome. Yeah. I like your man. I love it. Like that. I felt the same way. I felt what Riley's face is doing right now. Okay. So when you speak up and you're like, hey, this group here, just like, there's probably somebody here or maybe somebody back home. It's like, oh, me too. I just haven't thought about doing anything with it yet. And next thing you know, you got a team. It's pretty cool. Okay, let me give you some of this. Few little, okay, I'm going to start with a quote. Gary Haugen, one of my all-time heroes and absolute man crush. I gladly admit man crushes. And Gary Haugen is one. He's this dude that he fights genocide and slavery, and in his 50s, he can deadlift 400 pounds. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a picture of him online. He's pushing 60 now, and he's just got, all those plates on that bar standing up like, oh, someday. But absolute man crush. But he fights slavery, and his quote is, the world does not need your spasms of compassion, or a world of injustice does not need your spasms of compassion, it needs your long obedience in the same direction. So if you just kind of like have a momentary like, oh, I want to help out kids, and then in 3 weeks it fizzles away, just don't. Just stay home. Just don't. Because you're going to get the kids' hopes up. But if you're looking at this saying, no, this is something that just won't leave me alone. Lin-Manuel Miranda talks about this. He had this great little bit. And he's just like, that thing that just keeps, like, no matter what you're doing, it just keeps tapping you. If you got one of those, here's my advice to you right here. Here we go. This is good. You're going to lean into it. If it just keeps dogging you, I start talking to you guys about immigrants, and some of you guys are just like seeing what's going on in our world today. Your heart breaks for them. Won't leave you alone. Lean into it. Refugees, lean into it. Kids, lean into it. Domestic violence, lean into it. Whatever it is, yeah?
How does he go about fighting slavery and genocide?
He does it as a lawyer. International Justice Mission, and that's a whole other thing. But one of the things I was going to give you today is groups you can follow on Instagram or wherever you follow things. IJM, International Justice Mission, is well worth your time on that there. My goal is to meet him someday. Although they say you're never supposed to meet your heroes, so maybe I'd just be content to just let him be there, just be my man crush, and the rest of my life he deadlifts 400 pounds, And he's a great man. See, now that would be nice. But I encourage you lean into it. Okay, when I say lean into it, what kind of picture? What does that mean to you? See, that communicated that one well.
You act upon it.
Okay, act upon it like how?
Well, I can start getting to the spot where you can start doing it, or looking for other people who are doing it, so then you can learn from them too.
Yeah. Go find the people doing it. Yeah, like you're talking about there. And then just go learn from them. Like, when I get to telling you guys what I'm up to next. Oh, and there's a trailer to go along with what I'm about to tell you. We'd set the music even there of what I'm about to do next, but go volunteer. Did you guys catch? Okay. It came out in Kevin's story, Amanda's story. I don't remember if it came out in Cheryl's. How long they were involved in that world before they got into the ministry they're currently in. Did you guys catch Amanda saying how long she was at the women's shelter? Yeah, I thought she had 8, but yeah, a long time like that. Did you get what Kevin was doing before he started working for UGM?
He was a massage therapist.
Massage therapist, and then
Doing the same stuff practically.
yeah, he was already doing this stuff.
No organization yet. He was just doing it himself.
Yeah, and this is where so you got a thing that you're excited about. Go volunteer there.
That's what Cheryl said. She said.
Oh, did she?
She didn't say about herself personally, but her call to action was go find the people that are doing it.
Yeah.
And do it.
Do it. Go learn from them. Go learn from them and just hang out with it. There's something about being in that room of people who are doing it. I'll tell you what I'm doing with this myself, but go volunteer. Go volunteer. Wherever that organization is, go volunteer with them there. And then I cannot emphasize this enough. Be a learner. There's just no possible way for me to overemphasize that one. Learn. This is a messy and complex world. The solution is simple. It's simple, but the world is complex. When you stop it, I thought about doing this for a class sometime. What's the cause of poverty? We could spend the entire week and we wouldn't be done listing out things that have contributed to poverty. It is massively complex. That's why whenever you hear people yell at people panhandling, get a job. It's like, oh my word, you're such an ignorant moron. Just shut up and go on. Move. Just shut up. You brought nothing of value to the world right now. You clearly don't know anything. And you also don't have a very good heart. So you're ignorant and you're unkind. Thinking that you're self-righteous as you yell out the window, or that you're dropping wisdom on this person. My buddy Bruce, you know what he panhandled? He had something with his brain. I don't know what his IQ was tested at, but his IQ, I don't even know where the right number is, but there's normal functioning IQ levels, and then Bruce was down here. If you talk, he was a nice guy, and you talk to him, but it'd take you all of 10 seconds of talking to Bruce to realize something in his neurological formation just didn't come together. And he applied 1 year. We worked with him. I was like, man, Bruce, we got to get you a job. I really want a job. He actually was a decent worker. But I think we applied to 50 jobs. He didn't get a single interview. Just turn in the application. Not one interview after 50 applications going out. So you get in the cause of poverty. So you got to be a learner, be a learner, be a learner, be a learner, be a learner. Yeah.
That's where a job coach comes in really handy for people like Bruce, and I do that kind of work with certain clients. We have my position where we have people who are shadowing, kind of around these individuals who go into specific job fields, maybe it's cleaning, maybe it's stocking shelves, or something else in the community, in a store, or just anything. And we'll have other people who they'll talk to the companies and they'll help the interview process, and they'll make a situation that works really great for the person and great for the company. It can be so helpful for individuals like Bruce, and it can improve the quality of life and give them a sense of purpose that they were struggling to find before.
Yeah, and a dignity and all that there. Yeah, Melina.
Yeah, when I worked at the Coeur d'Alene Resort for 3 years, and in the
Super swanky resort, by the way.
Yeah, they know me. There was a man, first day that I walked in, he goes, I've seen you before, haven't I? I'm like, no, I'm new. I introduced myself, whatever. Next day, I've seen you here before, haven't I? I came to learn his name is Charlie, and he asks everybody that question every single day. But he's a dishwasher, and he's there every day, and he does a good job, and he clocks in, and he clocks out, on my last day, I saw him on the street. We were just walking downtown Coeur d'Alene. He was walking to work. I was walking from my new job because I work in the same area. And I see him on the street, and I was walking with my dad to lunch. And I'm like, "Hi, Charlie." And he's like, "Oh, hi. I know you, don't I?" I'm like, "Yeah, you do. We work together." And he's like, "Okay, good to see you."
Good to see you. Yeah.
My dad's like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "That's Charlie."
Yeah.
But it was so cool to see. He just worked. Like,
He got a job.
He was fully functional. He wasn't like all there, but he took care of himself.
Sure.
And I loved seeing that he was integrated in the community. Everybody was so kind to him. Nobody treated him like he was less. Like, "Oh, hi, Charlie."
Yeah.
Like, "How are you?"
Good. Oh, that's good. Good. Bruce did eventually get a job. If you guys ever see Tillamook jerky or beef sticks and like you're like at a gas station or whatever, Bruce got a job in Tillamook, Oregon. His brother lived there, so he could live with his brother there. And his job is to shovel out the smokehouse. That's what Bruce does, and he's happily doing it. Been doing it for 10 plus years now. I've got some other funny Bruce stories too. One that involved us carrying him a quarter mile out of a cave once, but that's another story. Yeah. Oh, maybe I told you that one already.
I think that was one we did last time.
Yeah. But you come in as a learner. You come in as a learner. Here on this, your heart, if it's in the right place to love, is a beautiful thing. But you want to connect the love with learning, because you can mess people up. You can, and you can mess yourself up. You can. This stuff can wear people out in a hurry. Like I deal with abuse. I deal with abuse every day, and I can tell you from experience in it, you got to learn how to do this, or it's just your soul is just gonna you're gonna hate yourself. You're gonna hate God. You're gonna hate the world. You're gonna hate everything. But if you learn how to do it, it's very life-giving. But you gotta learn. So be a learner. 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 20 books right there, man. Read 20 books. You don't need to read 20 books before you get involved, but if you want to do this long term, read your 20 books, kind of thing, eventually. There, so. Okay. Does it make sense? Is it making sense? Yeah, okay. We're doing good? Doing good on that. Okay. Can I give you some, I don't know, you guys are Instagrammers. Any of you guys jump on the social media and all that, or groups you can follow up on? I like following groups on Instagram. Okay. Do you remember any? You remember any that you like, or? Oh, you already follow them. Okay, Grace Collective, IJM. That's another good one. International Justice Mission, and then the Tim Tebow Foundation. Oh, yeah. You guys.
I met him. He's amazing.
Yeah. He would be a candidate for Man Crush for me, for sure. But IJM, Grace Collective, and Tim Tebow Foundation.
He has a book called Mission Possible. Highly recommend.
He's doing a lot right now to fight human trafficking.
He is.
It's pretty cool what they're doing. It's really neat, very inspiring on that there. And then if you have something like a ministry, like a specific group of people, hit me up. I almost guarantee you I know people who are doing that kind of work, either personally or I know them because I've been following them for a while. If you haven't noticed, this is kind of a passion of mine here on this here. All right. Oh, man, hey, it's 10:05. It's break time. So why don't we take a break? We'll be back at 10:35. Let's do 10:30 because we're going to get done early today. Does that sound good? 10:30. Let's be back 10:30. I just want to show you guys what it is I'm doing with my ministry, and what's coming next a little bit on some things, where you guys actually had an impact on it. October was a profound trip for me. Does the microphone help if it's not streaming? Do you need it? This will not be something worth streaming.
Oh, then you can determine.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Are you back on today?
From God. All right, Matthew chapter 16. What we want to do, we're going to read verses 13 through 20, and we're going to ask the question and answer the questions. We're going through it. If we take just this passage, what do we learn about the church? Okay, now I don't know if you know, Do you guys know who's, well, I might just spoil it. The very first time the church is ever mentioned in the history of humanity? Do you know the story? First time it's ever introduced. What? It was before Acts. Acts is where it got started. Acts 2 is when the church began. You're 100% right on that. Was not in Caesarea Philippi. First person to ever mention the church.
Well,
Jesus. Oh, my word. How'd you guess?
Well, I can't remember what town it is, but
Yeah.
it says,
I don't know the town in it now that you say that out loud. Do you know the story? Who did Jesus use the word church with first time?
The Pope.
The Pope. Wrong Bible school.
he was explaining to Peter, and he said, against this rock, on this rock I'll build my church.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to read. I want you know what y'all are part of. You're part of the church. And its origin is in Matthew 16. And I think it's worth, if we want to understand what the church is, I think it's a pretty good idea to go back to the guy who came up with the idea. This fellow from Nazareth, carpenter. He said some pretty cool things over the span of his lifetime. He was the one that came up with the concept of the church, and I think it's a good idea to go back to when he first started talking about it, because I think it gives us an idea, at least, of what he had in mind and what the church is. If I were to ask you, and we won't, but if I were to ask you, like, all right, let's throw up, what is the church supposed to be? We'd come up with some ideas, and they'd be good ideas, I bet you. But I want to just look at this one, the one that he gives us at the beginning, Matthew chapter 16, verse 13 through 20. So let me turn there. We're going to read it. I kind of liked where we had people reading one verse and then passing it on to the next here on this here. Rochelle, you mind just starting it for us? Yep. Oh, what's Caesarea Philippi? Look at you, dropping knowledge on us.
Now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he was asking his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?"
And they said, some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and others Jeremiah or one of the prophets.
Oh, you're verse 15.
Yeah, okay. Find it here. Sorry about that. He said unto them, "But who do you say that I am?"
Simon Peter replied, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God."
And Jesus said to them, "Blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, because flesh and blood did not reveal this to you, but my Father who is in heaven.
And I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it.
And I will give you the key to the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven."
Then he warned the disciples that they should tell no one that he was the Christ.
All right, we'll stop right there. Okay. The first question I want to put forward to you is that if we take only this passage, what do we learn about the church? Yeah, I'm not going to erase that. We're just going to say it out loud. If we take only this passage, what do we learn about the church?
The gates of hell will not prevail.
Okay, it will overcome the gates of hell. Okay,
Stand even when hell is coming against it.
okay.
It's built on a rock, on a foundation.
It's built on a rock. Good.
It has the keys to the kingdom of heaven.
Okay. What does that mean? Jesus. Ooh, that's Cohen's answer. That's Cohen's answer. You know, he's good. Yeah, Jesus be the keys of the kingdom of heaven. I guess maybe we don't want to dive too deep in. I'm not wanting to get super deep into the theology of this part. Maybe could we suffice it to say that when we talk about the keys of the kingdom, that there would be powerful things the church could do on earth that had eternal ramifications. Is that a fair summation of that? Okay, we'll go with that. And we're not going to dive deep into Catholic theology, who the first pope is, all that kind of stuff. on this here, which, by the way, Christians, we overreact to so many things.
I never overreact.
No, not you, not you. Other people do, though. And that, like, somebody will grab onto a part of our faith and they'll get all excited about it, and then we feel like we have to spend all our time debunking what they've done with it. And we miss the fact that this is the powerful living Word of God that's got an incredible truth in it here. And so let's just stick with that. Let's respond to the Bible, not to what people do with the Bible. That's a far better use of our energy there. But anyway, okay, sorry, tangent. Okay. I'll give you a couple more. Whatever was being built had something to do with Peter. I mean, Jesus talks about the church, and Peter's right there in the mix. And I know a lot of people try to, they're trying so hard to not be Catholic that they're trying to write Peter out of the story. And I just look like, I don't know, guys. I just know that when Jesus was building the church, he looked at Peter and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to build something. You just said something, Pete? I'm going to build something. As it turns out, if you were to make a Mount Rushmore, the four most important people in the history of the church, other than Jesus, Peter's one of them for sure. He's absolutely one of them. He did something with Peter, for sure. Okay? We kind of, okay. All right. Now, the next question here, based on just this text alone, do we see the church in an offensive position or a defensive one?
Looks offensive.
Why do you say offensive?
Well, actually, in this one, I'd say defensive, because the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Then again, that's our point. It could be both.
Okay.
He sets it up as defensive, it will not be overcome, but then it's also whatever you bind and whatever you loose is very much like whatever you do, puts it in more of an offensive state.
It's both.
It's both.
Sword and a shield.
Anybody want to make a case for offensive? Who? Melody does. Just with a hand raised, that's adequate, or you want to put some words with a hand?
Well, gates are for defense. If the gates won't prevail against a crowd, then you're assuming that the crowd is going to be able to storm the gates.
Yeah. Okay, see, and this was a profound moment for me a few years ago. I don't know where I got this. I don't know that anybody taught it. It's just the impression I had in my head. My impression was that the church was built and hell was going to come try to undo it. Undo it with, horrible doctrine, heresies, things like that, or undo it with disqualified leaders. And I do everything in my power to not catch the news, but even my wife texts me, she's like, hey, did you hear about this other Christian leader? It's like, surprise, surprise, another one had an affair, and it's like, hell's going to try to undo, come into our ranks and bring division and all terrible things and undo the church. Church is on defense. But it was like, when I realized the gates, you don't use gates in an offensive measure. You don't be like, oh, here comes an army. Oh, no, they're going to throw their gates at us. This is Samson. Yeah. Right, like a gate's defensive. My understanding, at least, of this text, and I'm just going to put it as my understanding. My understanding of this is that's the church that's on the attack. Hell is not the one on the attack here. It's the church that's on the attack. I came up with this line. You may have caught it from the podcast here. But it's when Jesus placed his church next to the gates of hell, he meant it. Okay, which was built first? Hell or the church? That's my understanding. Okay. At which point then, it seems to indicate to me that Jesus built the church to go after hell rather than the church existed, so hell's going to come after it. And you know what you do? Okay, this is where I get into real. Are you raising your hand or just kind of stretching? Yeah, what do you got?
Just the idea that also who was given authority over all the earth.
Okay, keep going with that.
Satan has authority. He's ruler of earth.
Oh, God of this world kind of thing. Okay.
He was given authority, and we as the church are placed in essentially his kingdom. We're an invading force.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that angle before. Jesus placed his church in a place where Satan's considered the god of the world. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting, yeah. And then you think about, so yeah, I'm going to mull around that for a while. The other part of it too, like think about, I don't know if you guys spent any time thinking about real estate at all. Bridget has, but the rest of you haven't. She's a future real estate mogul over here. Like, okay, let me ask you this. If you were going to build start a surfing company, where are you putting it? In Alaska.
I was gonna put it in Colorado.
Colorado, yeah. See, that's why Nathan's never going to be as successful at this.
The only surfing company in Colorado.
Well, I'd be willing to, yeah, I'd agree with you on that. Yeah.
I'd get 4 locations on the East Coast, 4 locations on the West Coast.
Yeah, you're going to the ocean if you're going to start a surfing, and you're going to probably go warm. Probably go warm.
People surf the board tide long-term.
Of course they do. Alaskans are crazy. They're like,
If you miss it, you're kind of toast.
yeah. It's like we might have fun, we might all die. You know, who knows? But you're putting you're putting a surf shop on the coast, right? You put it next to what you want, where you're going to be. You know, like if you're going to start an ATV store, selling ATVs, where are you putting it?
Alaska.
Right? You're going to Alaska. Are you putting one in downtown New York City? Although, for all I know, they have them, and they might have 1 million of them in New York City. I don't know. Like you're putting them where the mountains are. You're putting them where people are going to use it. Right? You locate things next to what it is that is about the purpose that you're after. And Jesus turned around and placed his church next to the gates of hell. It tells you something about its design, doesn't it? Its intended design. Like the church is here to undo hell. That's what we're here to do. We're here to overcome it. And you all know you're a part of this, right? I don't know if this has clicked for you yet. Some of you maybe it's clicked. Sometimes it clicks for me. Sometimes it doesn't click for me. I forget this part too. But you all know what you're a part of. You're part of the organization that's going to undo hell. I don't know if do you know how our story ends? We've gone over this one, right? It ends in victory. This is not in defeat. We don't get to the end of this and like, well, Jesus meant well, you guys. You know, but, well, it turns out Satan was awfully tricky. You know, what a slippery little fellow that was, huh? Like, when we get to the end of this and we're like, Jesus won. Like, not like, you know, eked one out and like there's like a controversial call in the game where it's like, well, yeah, I mean, we maybe won. Like, no. It's a clear and decisive victory. He wins this one and he wins it completely. And you know how a part of how he's doing that is church. The church, and you're in it. You're in this thing, right? And to me, this is an incredible thought. Okay, I went to this pastors' conference, and there was this in Reno, Nevada, which is the worst place in the world to have a pastors' conference. It's just the worst place in the world to go. Have you ever been? Anybody been to Reno? No, don't. Just pass. Like, if somebody's like, hey, I'll give you a chance. You can either go to Reno or I'll smack you in the face with a bat. Take the bat. It's terrible. Reno is awful. Yeah, people got 3 STDs just by walking through the lobby of the hotel. You know, it's just a scuzzy place. It's terrible place. And anyway, we go to this, but we're at this conference, pastors' conference down there, and this guy gets up to teach, and I don't remember. I think his name was Crawford, but I can't quote it. But I need to give him credit because I got this story from him. He told this story of he was like, him and his wife were celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary, and they decided to go to, I think it was India. And the hotel they were staying at in India had its own Bengal tiger. Right? They had a cage in the lobby of his hotel that had this tiger. Have you guys ever seen a tiger up close? They're enormous. I wonder, are they bigger than grizzlies? I wonder if they weigh more. Not bigger than a grizzly?
Small grizzly. Tiger can be up to 800 pounds, but that's on the large end. I'm pretty sure most tigers are like around 400, and it also depends on your tiger. A grizzly's like
Look at this guy.
600 pounds average, but you can also have 1,500-pound grizzlies
Okay.
too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can
So,
go over to this.
okay, not quite grizzly level, but still.
If you want to see some of the biggest grizzlies, go to
Kodiak
Kodiak.
Island, I've heard about that. So anyway, he goes to this hotel. It's this giant tiger in the lobby, and what he realized is that you can pay to go in the cage and pet the tiger. And he's like, when am I ever going to get this chance again?
Do you have to sign like
Your life away? You know, like I don't remember. He didn't, if he spoke to that, I don't recall. But he says, like, I have to do this. I have to. And so he pays the money, and they're like, okay, just so you know, when you go in, this tiger doesn't take real kindly to people petting it by the head. Which you're kind of like, nah, I kind of think I know how they figured that one out. And he said, so when you pet it, you got to pet it like kind of on the rear haunches. Right? And they said, but here's what we're going to do to make sure that, you know, it's okay, is we're going to distract the tiger. And we're going to have one of our workers stand outside the cage and he's going to feed it chicken. And as long as he's feeding this tiger chicken, you're fine. You can go in, pet the... Yeah.
This tiger sounds so much like a foreman I worked with.
There you go. All right.
How's he get instructions from the after the gas station?
Just keep giving him chicken and he won't eat you. Yeah. Anyway, he goes in and he's looking at this tiger. He's telling this story. He looked at the tiger and said, you know how perfectly designed the tiger is for what the tiger does? A tiger's a predator. And then you look at a tiger. Like you look like the way the jaw is structured. It's perfect for like grabbing onto and devouring unsuspecting animals. Like you look at the skeletal system, and it's perfectly designed to move with speed and stealth through a jungle. You look at the muscular structure of a tiger, like every muscle, every tendon, every ligament, it's perfect to kill. This thing is designed to kill, and it's perfectly designed to do it. And he's standing in this cage, and he's telling us this story. He's like, I'm standing in this cage petting it, and all this is like, all of a sudden it hit me. It's like, what on earth am I doing? You know? Right? Falls under that. It sounded like a good idea at the time, kind of a thing. And anyway, the point that he was getting at, and I think this is a great illustration of it, is like, here's the thing about a wild animal, is like a wild animal is eventually going to remind you that it's a wild animal. Right? And the only way you can keep that wild animal from being the wild animal that's designed to do what it does is you have to distract it for a while. And he says, guys, that's the church. The church is perfectly designed by God to go to war with the gates of hell. But most of our churches are eating chicken. We're distracted. We're distracted from our purpose. God has designed this organization, this family, this community, this entity, whatever you want to call it, perfectly to go to war with the gates of hell, to function in a society where everything has fallen apart. That little girl that I told you about at the beginning, that I had to drop off at the house, the church is perfectly designed to exist in the world where that girl is, to do something meaningful. The story I told you of my wife, right? The story I told you of my wife, the church is perfectly designed to do what needs to be done in a world that she exists in. It's perfectly designed because our God doesn't just haphazardly throw things together. He's genius. He's brilliant. He anticipates everything, right? And this is where it's like he's built this church to go to war with the gates of hell. All right? Yeah. What are you thinking?
What would you say are like the top distractions of the church?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's start to the group. What do you guys think? What are the top distractions of the church? Oh, you want candy from me, aren't you? You're wanting candy. You can have some more high chew, Nathan. There, go for it. There, yeah, right? Okay, what do you got, man?
I'm trying to think of how to word it, but I feel like apathy.
Okay.
Like late on our walk, I mentioned our church, Church on the Rock, calls it management mode. Or just looking at what you have and being like, I just need to handle what I've got instead of pursuing more.
Yeah, management mode, apathy, good. Money. just the things of this world, the pleasures of this world. Yeah, I love. I'm sorry, what's that? Ooh, you're getting really personal with some churches there. The attendance of their churches, yeah. Oh my word, yes.
I think at least getting a bigger building sometimes
Yeah.
is a focus, or at least my church that back in Spokane, something that I always kind of had a problem with when I started going there, is their mission was reaching 1,000 souls on 5 Mile, which in Spokane is like, they need spiritual help, but I'm over here like, okay, you're in a wealthy community with a lot of resources, and there's people downtown in Spokane that need help. Why are we staying isolated up here on our little hill, doing nothing, and building a bigger building? And it's just like, I don't know, but
Yeah.
we can get distracted by building a bigger ministry instead of actually just doing ministry.
Yeah, building stuff that looks cool that isn't necessarily actually cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, man, we got a lot of answers here. You got. All right.
I'd say not even politics. A lot of people are not, like, they're just trying to have a fun time. They're, yeah, or they're just trying to help themselves and not being focused, like, outward. I think,
Just
like,
self-focused.
churches, yeah, like, oh, we have all our own problems, and instead of, like, actually trying
We-
to be involved in the community.
Which is 100% true. Who doesn't have their own problems? We all have our own problems. You got a very valid reason to not stop and help the person bleeding in the ditch, right? But Jesus is like, I realize you got 1,000 things going on. Stop and help the person bleeding in the ditch anyway. What were you going to say?
Comparison, like always, like it's not only a church, like as a group trait, it's an individual trait, but it's seen a lot in churches where you compare each other instead of like having the comparison as being Christ, you know?
Yeah. Comparison, sure. We go 3 more answers. Okay, you've been over. Are you like super excited, or do you have a rubber band on your fingers?
Sorry.
You're just waving?
My palms are sweating, so this fanning.
Knees weak, arms are heavy? No? Vomit on your sweater? Mom spaghetti? No, anyway. Okay.
Building on what Nathan said just got me kind of thinking. The church is so focused on growing themselves and not the church. There's so many times where the church gets so big that we focus on, well, we just need more space to serve more people. It's like, or you could cut it down the middle and make 2 churches. Should be like emphasis of the church.
There we go. Okay, good. Did you have something, Malia? Or, yeah. What's that?
The church is very distracted by maintaining a reputation.
Maintain a certain reputation. Okay, that's good. Yeah, and I'll tell you, for me, my experience, whatever that's worth, most people in churches are pretty nice, good people that are so consumed with their world. They don't mean to be, but they just got a gazillion things going on, and it's just, I don't think, normally speaking, Satan's strategy for us is, I'm going to see if I can turn them into a bunch of Satanists that sell crack to kindergartners. Which, oh, by the way, if you were thinking about doing that, don't sell crack to kindergartners, you guys. Yeah, there, right? Just don't. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Like, Satan's strategy isn't to do that. Satan's strategy is just to distract us. Because his goal is just to take us out of the game. And if he can take us out of the game by making us horrible humans, I suppose. But most of the time, he just takes us out of the game by we never got in the game to begin with. You know?
He can't make you bad, he'll make you busy.
Make you bad, he'll make you busy, right? Yeah, that's truth. And I'll tell you, man, when I was sitting there listening to that guy talk, I was just listening to him, and I was kind of getting disillusioned with the church. Now, bored with the church. And what I realized when I heard him is like, so much of what my ministry had been, and what so much of ministry is, that what I feel it has been. Well, this might not be a kind interpretation, but I feel like so much of my energies was going to take somebody who was like at a level 6.1, pour 1,000,000 hours into him to get him up to 6.2. And I just realized when I heard him talk about the untamed tiger church, Which, by the way, when I was taking notes when he was preaching, I have those notes. It's sitting on like this little thing in my bedroom, so I see it all the time. Untamed Tiger Church says right at the top. To remind myself of this, when I heard that, I was like, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. I got weary of doing things that just helped mediocre people be slightly less mediocre, which is a form of mediocrity to me. And I don't say that judgmental, like I was so on fire, what's the matter with these clowns? It was like I found myself caught up in something I didn't even care about. And guys, I'll just tell you the way that I don't know what's in my heart to do. I want to go kick in the doors of hell. I went in on that action, you guys. I'm not interested in sitting in this safe, cute little world where everything is okay, everything's fine. Like I want to go kick in the doors of hell, right? And I'll tell you, I don't know if you maybe picked up on this, maybe not. I'm not real good about sitting around doing nothing. That is not where I shine. I can do it for a while if I need to, but eventually I'm going to go a little bit strict. You may or may not have seen, I was not in the room for a full movie once this week. And it's fine if you guys, and sometimes I watch a full movie. Well, usually I fall asleep, and that's how I make it through a full movie. But eventually I got to get up and move. Like I can't sit here the whole time. I got to go do something. I'm not a guy that's real good at sitting around, and I'm even worse at keeping things shallow. Whether you picked up on this or not, I don't know. But if you've hung out with me and all, you know what, we're either laughing, having fun, or I'm trying to make jokes. They aren't always funny jokes, but I try. I try to make jokes, or I'm talking about stuff that matters. Like, I don't usually have a lot of in between, other than that. Those are my things. Let's have a good time. Let's talk about something real, or let's all just go home and you go your way and I'm going to go do something. Like that's how I am. If I can quote my all-time favorite Seahawk, I'm all about that action, boss. And I was not built for life at a resort. I was built for life at war. And there's a question for you here. You don't have to answer this one out loud, but here's a question for you. Do you think Christianity, the church, is more of a resort or more of a battlefield? Are you at a 5-star resort sipping, your favorite tasty beverage while you kick back in a lawn chair enjoying the sun? Or are you in a Quonset hut lacing up your boots getting ready to go out to battle? I think the church is at war. That's how I'm wired. You're getting a very Jeff Pernsteinerized version of my understanding of the church, but this is my understanding of the church. You sift through it, decide if this is what God's saying. You search the scriptures on your own, see if these things are so. But this is how I understand the church to be. And that's why I'm here, you guys. I'm not here because I wanted to see Alaska again. I mean, I did. It's so cool up here. It is so cool up here. I mean, I did want to see it, but I'm not here for that. I am here. I have briefly stepped away from my battle to come up here, look you all in the eyes and say, hey, come on, let's go fight something. Let's go kick in a door of hell. I'm doing it down in Idaho. You ever want to come join me? Come on down. We'll go kick in some doors together. Or wherever it is that God's put you, go kick in some doors of hell, man. Go get it done. Tim Tebow, my brother just texted me this quote. This is a good quote. I wish I came up with this. I want credit for this one. Man, it's good. But it was a question. How devastating would it be if we got to the gates of heaven well rested? I'm going to say that one again. How devastating would it be if we got to the gates of heaven well rested?
Then we couldn't take our nap.
You couldn't take, and that's really ultimately what we're building up to is the perfect nap. Can you see what you guys are a part of? I hope you see that. What you get to be a part of. I know I'm supposed to say this because I'm a pastor, but I'm not saying this because I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor because I believe this. The Church of Jesus Christ is the coolest organization on the entire planet. Righteous. Right? Amen. It is the greatest honor. I don't know if you came to, which is a greater honor, to be called God's son or be called God's servant. I don't know how I could pick between the two, but if you force me to, I'm picking servant. How cool is it that I get to lace up my boots and go to war with the King of the universe? This is incredible. This is incredible what I get to be a part of, what you get to be a part of. And we get to go do it in Jesus' name. Me, I'm down there helping out little girls like my wife Kim or this son. Here, okay. dismissed. That work?